Welcome to Fast Five, where our three panelists discuss 5 topics in 7 short minutes. Let's get started. Clear Spring crowned a prom queen. Why is that a special event, Danielle?
It is special because she has Down syndrome,
Yes.
I believe. Her name is Abby Angles, and I don't know if you got to see the video of her. They did a special interview at the school, and this girl just lights up a room.
Oh, she does.
I was, the Down syndrome aside, she just, what a great personality, and you can tell she's done some great things for her school and for her friends, and absolutely deserved.
Yeah, and, we see so much hate and everything on TV and in the news anymore. I'm glad to see articles like this. I'm glad to see news like this.
I'm glad to see a school and a group of young people that respond, that understand that we all are different in our own ways, some more obvious than others, and we all have worth. And the fact that they elevated this young lady to this honor, I think speaks a lot about that class of seniors.
I think perhaps she elevated herself.
Well, I understand that, but
she was
that's a good point.
Very impressive.
That's a very good point. Okay, next, overwhelmed with overdoses here in Hagerstown. What do we think about that?
Spice. Is what's going on. I could not believe my eyes when I opened the paper that day, and I think it was last Wednesday or something, and saw 23 overdoses in a single day. Some of them multiple times for the same person. And so what this stuff is I had to research it because I don't know much about it, but they're spraying chemicals on plants. I think they call it a cannabinoid or something. Yeah. So it's like a cross between a marijuana and
synthetic marijuana.
Synthetic marijuana, yes. I couldn't believe that, not only the overdoses themselves, but how much our resources had to go to responding to the overdoses.
And it's really sad. So I've got on my smartphone, I've got a radio scanner app that lets me listen into Washington County Fire and EMS. And every once in a while, I just turn it on to listen to it, find out what's going on in the county. And it really makes me sad that every time I turn it on, within probably about 30 minutes, back when we were having this issue, I heard something about an overdose. And I was like, wow, this is really sad. And what's really concerns me on this, so the spice, the synthetic marijuana, the reason that people turn to it, even though marijuana itself is decriminalized, is that the synthetic marijuana, it won't show up on most drug tests.
Really? I didn't know that.
So that really becomes an issue where people are turning to it because they want to make sure they pass their drug tests.
I'm sure that will change soon.
But because there's no quality control on it, it's very easy for somebody to mix up a batch wrong and for people to overdose.
And they make it look like candy almost.
Some
with
of
the
it.
packaging and
some of them, yeah.
I think it was called Scooby-Doo
I saw a Scooby-Doo picture on one of them.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Federal judge tosses DC sniper accomplice Malvo's life sentence. What's up with that?
So, believe it or not, I actually, after reading the details on this, I support this.
Okay.
All right. And
Tell me
here's
why.
why. Because I do not believe that we should have mandatory sentencing. All right. I believe that sentencing should be based upon a number of factors and not just, hey, it says this in this federal book that I have to give you this many years or I have to give you a life sentence. Now, do I believe he should have a life sentence? Absolutely. But I don't believe he should have a life sentence because it was mandatory.
Well, he almost had a death sentence. But,
right.
The other guy did. But my question for you guys is, so now that it's unconstitutional to mandate a life sentence for juveniles, do you think that it's right to go in retrospect and reopen these cases to review their sentencing?
Yeah, I think that if you look at death penalty laws, if they declare a death penalty if they stop using a death penalty in a state, then anybody that's on death row is not going to get executed, even though that was
Right.
their sentence at the time that they were sentenced. So I think it follows that precedent loosely. So yeah, I don't necessarily have a problem with it, but it is an interesting idea. Do you fix it going forward, or do you
Right.
fix it
Right.
in arrears? Okay, Maryland beaches get a good health scorecard. Let's all go to the beach.
I'm good with that. Let's go right now.
Absolutely. So we talked just the other week about Chesapeake Bay and the how that it's healthier, despite the fact that we're going to have less blue crabs this year at
Right.
the end of the year, and our beaches are getting a good report. Danielle?
I went to college in Salisbury, Maryland, and that was many years ago. And the beach wasn't so great back then. But that's Ocean City. But I learned today that we actually have 185 public beaches in the state of Maryland. That's a lot.
Now, some of those are on the bay, though, right?
Yes, in the state of Maryland, and to achieve, I think it was a 99% of the beaches to be rated perfectly healthy is
Right.
an awesome thing and great for our economy.
Yeah, and and that really shows that we have taken huge strides to clean up the bay, because, like I said, there are bay-facing beaches. But I think it's also good for Maryland tourism, because now we're going to have people, hey, well, I want to go see those great beaches.
Yep. All right, last topic. We've got about 30 seconds. Baltimore experiencing staggering homicide rates. Ken?
It's summertime, school's out. I hate to be
gonna get
that
worse.
way, but it's true. I'm really concerned about not just Baltimore, but where our whole state is heading, because it seems like we're seeing more and more violence, even here locally.
Well, and it's per capita.
Right.
Is what I read today, that even compared to Chicago, another huge city, that our per capita rate of homicide in Baltimore is the second highest, next to, I think, St. Louis. But the other interesting thing is that the mayor is going to the FBI for help on this, which I'm not really sure.
Instead of the Maryland State Police?
Right, or the ATF, or
Yeah.
DEA. So I'm not really sure how that will help. And it's going to get worse.
Right,
so-
and unfortunately, a lot of violence we see in our whole state is going to be gang and drug related.
They're projecting 400. According to how we're going right now, 400 homicides in Baltimore. That's more than one a day. So.
And you're going to get the last word on that. Coming up next, last call. Stay tuned. We're back in 3 minutes.